Have you ever done that? I had a bacon barm cake this morning. What do you call them where you come from? In other parts of the UK they call them bread rolls and baps and oven bottoms and cobs and whatever, but here in Lancashire we call them barm cakes, because here in Lancashire we're right. Here in Lancashire is where men are men and women are goddesses. Anyway, I've had this bacon butty this morning, this bacon barm cake, and I've got a piece of bacon stuck in my teeth. Have you ever done that? But the thing is, I can feel it with my tongue, but your tongue magnifies feel, doesn't it? So it might only be a fragment, but it feels massive. But I can't feel it with my fingernail, and I keep going in, and it's going to drive me absolutely mad. And what I'm doing now is I've got my tongue, and I'm playing with it, with my tongue. And I know that at the end of that, I'm going to end up with a little ulcer on the end of my tongue, or an ulster as we used to call it when we were kids. Sorry, Ireland. But I'm going to end up with an ulcer, and I keep picking at it. And the thing is, it doesn't feel like there's anything there, but I can feel it with my tongue. And I'm kind of thinking, is it really there? Will I ever know it's there? The only time I'll know it's there is when I can actually get it out and see it. If I can't see it, it might not be there. It might just be a figment of my imagination. It's like Schrodinger's bacon. Bloody hell. This is just life though, isn't it? There never seems to be a moment when you aren't being bothered by some little problem. Like, it might just be something as insignificant as an itchy foot, or it might be something as completely debilitating as a piece of bacon stuck between your teeth. But there never seems to be a moment in time when we haven't got some kind of minor malady going on, and we just take it. We never even think about it. But as we get older, have you noticed this? As we get older, they seem to get more and more frequent and higher intensities as we descend into terminal decrepitude, like me. But that is only to be expected. Don't knock that. We're just like old cars with lots of miles on the clock. But like old cars, we've actually got there. We've obviously been pretty well serviced along the way, otherwise we wouldn't have reached here. So give yourself a pat on the head if you're an old crock like me, because it means you've done something right in your life. You've done something that hasn't polished you off before your time. You may have abused yourself, but you probably thought, that's enough abuse for one day. I'll live a good life for this last half an hour before I go to bed. Just celebrating the privilege of this long life you've had. Just celebrating the privilege of this short life you have. Just celebrate in the privilege of just being here in the now, in the rain, under the trees, listening to the bird song. Just celebrate that privilege. But try to live a long life. Try to live a fruitful life. Try to live a life that you can look back on and think, that were grand, that were great. All them bacon barm cakes I've had, how fabulous. And now I can become a burden on society. I love it. I love being a pain in the ass. My daughter has never messaged me as much in her life. I think she's frightened of me expiring while she's not looking, but I'll have the last laugh, won't I, when I message her one day to tell her I'm dead. Who'll be laughing then, eh? I wonder how many people will remember me after I've gone, and for how long. Not many, not for long, I would think. We're here briefly, aren't we? Then we're remembered by our children, we're remembered slightly by our grandchildren. Our great-grandchildren may know of us through stories told down through the family, and after that, we're gone. The only way to be remembered for a long time these days is to be either a famous actor, a famous artist, or a serial killer. I can't act for toffee and I haven't got the brains to be a scientist, so I suppose the only way I can go down in history is to go and buy a big hammer and some cyanide. But in the meantime, Molly and I are just going to wander through the countryside, pondering life, pondering my life, pondering other people's lives, pondering the future, pondering the past, pondering nature, with a heart full of joy and a jaw full of bacon. We shall see you on the flip. Peace and love.